A great example of this is something called deterministic time slicing. It's a huge achievement. So the internet computer actually can run smart contract computations that span multiple blocks. And essentially what it does is it has like 4 logical processors, which are actually real processors on these node machines. And it puts a smart contract onto the processor, lets it consume a certain number of cycles, internet computer equivalent of gas, and then takes it off the processor and puts another smart contract on. And the computations, these smart contract functions that are being invoked, which transactions essentially, can be executed over multiple blocks. And so you can actually do a huge amount of computation in a single smart contract transaction. And this is a huge advance because it essentially means that the internet computer is a genuine decentralized operating system. So if you think about operating systems, that's the software that makes hardware, computing hardware, usable. So, you've got Android in the Google universe, you've got iOS in the Apple universe for phones, you've got OS X on MacBooks, you've got Windows on Windows laptops and so on, you've got Linux on back-end servers. And, these operating systems run on a single computer. The ICP stack, works as a kind of operating system that runs across multiple compute units. And despite that, it's still doing the same kind of things that, the operating system, multitasking things that, traditional operating system does. So, these things are so much more further in advance than what people are used to on blockchain. It can be very difficult. Oftentimes people say to me, I say to them, look, internet computers, blockchain is cloud, right?
Yeah.
The blockchain is now a serverless cloud where you create online systems and services using smart contract software. And they'll say things like, well, isn't leading blockchain X and Y already a decentralized cloud? Isn't that what everyone's doing? And, I say to them, well, look, no, not quite, because the internet computers are running social networks today and, order book exchanges and things like that. And actually on these traditional blockchains, you can't even store a phone photo.
So to make it simple, ICP is a genuine decentralized operating system. 100% agree. I've always seen ICP as a revolutionary open source operating system software, not as simple token of a project or company's is pure software. So guys, this is very big. Obviously that's something that we knew before, but it's great that Dominic is mentioning about it, right? So ICP, obviously it's a software, not only the crypto project, and obviously if they are going to deliver on that promise and on that value that ICP has to offer, the whole Web3, in my opinion, is going to be built on ICP's software, if that makes sense. By the way, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video is not a financial advice. So let's hop into ICP itself. ICP is currently trading at $17.09 and is currently experiencing a little leg down of 4.7%. So market cap is currently trading at 7.9 billion USD and 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 213.4 million USD. So we had that pullback, but obviously that pullback for ICP is nothing to be worried about because most of the market is experiencing that pullback as BTC pulled a couple percent down. So if it comes to ICP being staked, that is currently sitting at 47.4%, so sitting stable. And if it comes to DeFi, that is currently sitting at 38.8 million USD. And one thing that I would like to remind you guys about is that we are going to experience that unlock of 3.2 million ICP of total supply to the market. So that's going to happen on April 11, and technically it might impact the price of ICP towards downward momentum. However, I don't believe that this is necessarily the case because people are buying up that ICP as well. And now let's finally have a look at the chart. So that is a daily chart, and let's see what is happening. So basically ICP is now trading between that 0.236 and 0.382 zone with a little bit of a dip towards 0.5 zone. So I wouldn't really be surprised if we are going to see that dip and retest of that level of support now of $15.70 roughly. That obviously also leads us back to the previous cycle, so it's very important level. And one thing to note, that Bitcoin halving could be a sell the news event, at least for a few months. So now this is something normal in crypto. Usually it happens, right, by the rumor sell the news type of an event, right? And I'm not saying that it's going to happen because even they are saying over here in that news outlet that it could. So there is definitely going to be a volatility that we are going to have have to be prepared for, right? However, if you don't day trade, I'm pretty sure that you have no reasons to worry about, because obviously even if ICP is going to dip to lower levels, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a end of the bull cycle. It's just a dip post the halving, if that is going to happen. So I wouldn't really necessarily be worried about it. So as I was mentioning before, my target thesis are $24 if ICP is going to see that bullish breakout. Heck, it could be much more, right? So that was my scenario number 2. If ICP is going to pull down, probably the first level, that's going to be obviously $15.90 roughly, and after that we are going to see and reevaluate, right? However, at the moment it is a little bit boring. BTC is jumping up and down. Obviously we are in that area before the halvening, so anything might happen at this point. However, even if the major pullback is going to happen, that is going to be temporary, because if we are going to look at the rainbow chart, we are still in that green zone that holds, well, green yellow zone that stands either for hodl or still cheap area, and I do think that this is the last time to accumulate any projects that you guys believe in. Shout out to El Crypto Prof. When the Gunnar EMA crossed bullish in 2016, the total market cap rose more than 14,000% to the peak. When the Gunnar EMA crossed bullish in 2019, the total market cap rose more than 1,500% to the peak. Status now, just over 100%, is still early for altcoins. So I do completely agree, because if we are going to look at RSI, for instance, of what happened, right? This is when the bull run started over here for alts and BTC as well. And this is the time when RSI turned green over 70 over bot area. And obviously, of course, we had the crash after that. And if we are going to look at 2021, the same thing. And if we are going to look at this current time, we are still around 70 area over here for RSI. So I do believe that this is calm before the storm, and potential targets for BTC this cycle could be around 200 and 240,000 USD. So if we are going to examine BTC and what happened around that time of the halving, let's have a look at 2017. So BTC got rejected in 2017 from previous all-time highs, and we had that pullback. After that, we had a bullish price action, of course, on the date of halving. We had the pullback, and after that, of course, we had the parabola. So if we are going to look at 2020, at what happened, we got rejection over here for BTC as well. Then we had a little bit of a boring price action. Nevertheless, after that we saw a huge parabola for BTC. So this run is a little bit different, because we have closed above that all-time high, and then we have consolidated slightly above that, and at the moment BTC is experiencing that bullishness in the market, and that obviously is great to see. Nevertheless, it is definitely possible that BTC could see that further pullback. However, the macro perspective is definitely bullish for BTC, considering that patience is the key. And if we are going to look at alts from the perspective of a bullish pennant, which is exactly what is brewing at the moment for altcoins, we could expect that bullish breakout in, let's say, coming weeks. And if we are going to look at the things from the perspective of Bitcoin dominance, which is constantly dropping, we can clearly see that once BTC's dominance drops significantly, we have experienced a strong alt season. So just like in 2017, 2021, and the same case in 2024. Let's see. So the BTC's dominance looks quite a green on a monthly. However, if I'm going to put it on a daily, let me to just zoom out a little bit, we see that we had that drop in terms of a dominance, right? Of course, it might jump back. However, the macro trajectory is definitely going to be a drop at some point, because of course, altcoin season is going to come sooner or later. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching that quick ICP, BTC and alt updates. I hope that you have guys enjoyed it, and I wish you have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Peace and love, crypto.